Hello, welcome to Cooking with Mama K. Oh my gosh, you guys look amazing, and I am so glad you're here with me today. I am your host, Karen Smith, also known as Mama K. And oh my goodness, do we have some fun stuff planned for you guys today. We are gonna have a lot of fun and make some great food that you're gonna enjoy making at home with your family and your little people. But first, a little bit about me. I hail from the great Pacific Northwest, Vancouver, Washington, where I am the proud owner of Mama K Cooking. Listen, when they hire me to cater, I tell them, put on your stretchy clothes because we're gonna eat and we're gonna stretch out. So let me tell you what we're gonna do today. We are going to make some mini stuffed peppers that's filled with all kinds of goodness. Cream cheese, regular cheese, a little bit of spring onion, and some bacon. Who don't like that? And then we're gonna move on to our étouffée. Well, I have to go down to my home state, the boot state, Louisiana, and we're gonna make shrimp étouffée, baby. See how my Creole accent come out right there? Yeah. We're gonna make some shrimp étouffée today, and then to top it all off, we're gonna make the Queen Anne's chocolate chip pie. Are y'all ready to get started? I am. Let's go. All right, let's get started with baking this shrimp étouffée. Now, the base is you have to start making your roux. So today we're gonna make a simple butter roux. This is 1 stick of butter. And to cheat, I like to cut mine in squares because it'll melt faster and evenly. So here we go, and I'm turning the heat up because we in the kitchen. Yes, sir. All right, so we just want to get this started melting in this pot. Break it up a little bit. And then we're gonna get this roux going. This is the base for most of your Cajun / Creole dishes. If you're gonna make anything that comes from the boot, you need to start with a good roux. Now, of course, there are many different kinds. And if you grew up in my house, you already know. We had what's called a roux making day, where my mama would get in that kitchen and she would make all the different roux we were going to use for that season. So we had roux for the gumbo, we had roux for the stew, and we had roux for stuff like this. And she had all these different containers that she would put her roux in, and we would just get to going. So let's just get this butter melting. We'll be right back. All right, so our butter is just about melted down, and it's already smelling good. I know it's just butter, but it's already smelling good. Now we're gonna add 1/2 cup of flour. Just sprinkle it in. There we go. Now to get it going, I use my handy dandy whisk because I wanna make sure that it is breaking up. We don't want no clumps in this roux. We don't want no clumpy étouffée. Nobody gonna wanna eat that. You don't wanna eat it? So see how it's mixing up in there nicely? Yes, loving it, loving it. And we're just gonna cook this till it gets a light golden brown because we don't want it too dark. We're not making gumbo today. We're making shrimp étouffée. Baby, yes we are. Now this is one of the things my mama, my grandmama, and all my aunties taught me. And if they watch me doing this and I don't do this, they gonna probably come and get me. And I don't want that. We're gonna add some seasoning right to this roux. First off, we're gonna start with a little onion powder. Just a few sprinkles right here. Then we're gonna add a little bit of garlic powder. A few more sprinkles. Okay, we got to stir because you know that roux get to sticking to the bottom of the pot. That's not gonna be good for nobody. When you're cooking Cajun food, when you're cooking Creole food, when you're cooking good old Southern food, period, it's all about building the flavors. We're layering the flavors. Just keep on stirring it up because I can't let it stick. Now, next thing I'm gonna add is just a little bit of seasoning. This is some Mama K magic. This stuff will make your food pop. Yes, it will. We're just gonna put a few little sprinkles in here. Not a lot, just enough. There we go. And stir. Got to keep stirring. Now let me tell y'all, at roux making day at my house, this was my job. I developed these beautiful biceps right here by stirring up roux. Because my mom and them would say, Karen, just stir the pot. Don't let it stick. Just stir it. Just stir it. And I would be thinking to myself, how long we got to keep stirring this pot? I'm trying to get through so I can go play outside. But it was a job. And you know what? Later on when we had that food, I greatly appreciated it. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. All right. It's looking good. Now, you know, the one thing that I wish somebody would do, because I think it would help all of us. When you are sitting at home watching somebody like me, Mama K, cook, I need somebody's child, some engineer to come up with an app that will allow you to smell the food while we cooking it right here. Because then when you start cooking it at your house, it'll smell familiar because you smell what I'm smelling. And I'm telling you already, baby, it's smelling good. Look at this. It's getting nice and golden brown. We're gonna cook this up, maybe about another 35 seconds. Start your timer, 35 seconds. Dun, 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 dun. You gotta have a little music going when you do it. Get your little groove on, because it keep you moving, 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 moving. And you gotta keep stirring because it can't stick. I know, it's a job. Now this is where your multitasking come into play. You're stirring, and then we're gonna add what's called the Creole Trio. This is onion, bell pepper, and celery. Not celery, celery. Plop it all in there, baby. Make sure you get it in the pot and not on top of the stove like I just did. We're gonna turn our heat down to medium. And yes, I'm still using my whisk. There we go, medium. Set this over to the side, because now we're gonna blend it in. Oh, can you smell it? It's smelling good. And all we want to start doing is cooking these vegetables down. We're not going to cook them all the way down. We just want them to start getting soft. And again, it's all about layering and building your flavor in this dish. And see, the roux kept cooking. It's a nice golden brown. Now to this, I'm just going to add a little bit. I'm lying. I'm probably gonna add half of this. Let me tell the truth today, because you know I need to tell the truth. We're just gonna add a little bit of this tomato bouillon. Oh, I lied. We added all. Just go with it, boo. All right. And we're just gonna let this mix in. Smelling good, y'all. Smelling real, real good. Ooh, we shabby babe. My mama was in it. She said, "You're doing a good job. You're doing a good job." We're gonna add a little more of our seasoning, a little more onion powder. Just sprinkle on across, a little more garlic powder. Sprinkle on across. And we got our heat now on medium. Because now we're gonna let all the vegetables and the seasoning mix together and meld together. There it is. Look at that. Look at that. Look at this. This is great. Oh my gosh. And it smells amazing. Oh, when you make this at your house, people gonna come from wherever they are, upstairs, downstairs, all the way around the stairs, and they're gonna be like, "What you cooking? What you making?" And you're gonna say, "I'm making some of Mama K's shrimp étouffée." That's what I'm doing. Okay. Now we're just about ready to start adding some liquid so we can make our base and start to make our gravy for the étouffée. You ready? Okay. So we're just gonna use a little bit of vegetable broth. Now listen, I'm gonna tell you the truth. Some people will use a seafood, and we're pouring just enough to cover the bottom, because we're gonna add some more in just a moment. Set it to the side. Some people will use a seafood broth, and you can, that's great, but it's hard to find. It really is. You can also use clam juice. And it'll be just fine. But I'm gonna give you the secret ingredient in case you don't have any of those things. Look at this wonderful, look at this. It's starting to thick up. We're gonna add some more. Well, how come you didn't add it all at one time, Mama K? Because we wanna blend it as it goes. And remember, you cannot have clumpy roux. So if you add it all at one time to this hot mixture, it is going to be clumpy, and we don't want that. Ooh, this is looking good. All right, we're gonna let this continue on and simmer down, and we're gonna be right back. All right, so we got our roux cooking down very well. Now we're gonna get ready to add our shrimp. Now listen, you can use any kind of shrimp that you want. Mini shrimp, big shrimp, little shrimp, in between shrimp, shrimp with shells on it. Don't do that because then people got to peel the shells out, so don't do that. You can use Gulf shrimp, and that is wonderful. Matter of fact, where I grew up, that's what we use. But today we're gonna use one of my favorite shrimps, which is the pink Argentine jumbo shrimp. And this is 1 pound, and we're just gonna pour it in there. And it's gonna start to mix in. Look at this. Mix in with our roux that we're making. Look at it, y'all. Look at it. Look, it's gonna be so good. Oh my gosh. Yes. Okay, remember I told you about that secret ingredient? I'm getting ready to help you out. Yes, I am. So, because we did not have a seafood broth, and I didn't go get no clam juice because I particularly don't like it, I use this El Guapo ground shrimp. Now listen, this is sometimes a little hard, and we're just gonna sprinkle. There you go. Maybe a tablespoon is what we did. Just sprinkle enough to cover. Set this over to the side. Now listen, this can be, well, all right, shrimp. This can be challenging to find. So I find it in like my local grocery store. Look on your Hispanic aisle. It's not gonna be where all your regular everyday plain Jane, Jimmy Joe, LaQuana, Tatisha seasonings are. It's gonna be over where the Hispanics seasonings are. And listen, don't sleep on that aisle. Just take you some time and go down that aisle, get your phone, have Google open, and just look at all these seasons. They got some good stuff that you can experiment with. Okay, so now we've added our ground shrimp. We have our shrimp in this wonderful roux. We need to add some more liquid. Ready? So I'm gonna pour the rest of this vegetable broth. There we go. Pouring it slow because I don't want to create a. All right, so this was a 32 fluid ounce, and we used all of this. Remember, we started with a ½ cup of flour, 1 stick of butter to make our roux. We used a total of 32 ounces of this broth, and then we started with 1 pound of shrimp. Now, if you're gonna make this for like 45 million people, because I tell you, once you make this, all your friends gonna be asking you to make it. So you're gonna need at least, if you're gonna double the recipe, double everything, okay? So get you 2 of those. And guess what? Chicken broth works well too. We just want to get it going, mix it all in, and it's gonna thicken up in just a little bit. Now at this point, we gotta let it do what my mom and them would say. It gotta simmer down, Karen. Just let it simmer down. Let that étouffée simmer down and let it cook, because you gotta get your shrimp cooked. And to this, I'm gonna add the rest of my seasoning, which is some onion powder, la la la, and the last of my little garlic, la la la. I'm gonna sprinkle a little more of this Mama K magic because it's gonna make everything magical. No, I didn't mention. See, just cover, just cover, boo boo. You're gonna be all right. And then this is some smoky paprika. It is also called Cajun paprika. So I buy it in the bulk food section of my local grocery store, but you can also just look for yours, or you can go on Google it, and I'm sure you can order it online. And we're just gonna sprinkle enough, because some people will add hot sauce or Tabasco sauce when they cooking this. That's not the way I learned how to do it, boo. No, we didn't do that. My mama would be in this kitchen. She said, Karen, you put some of that cayenne in there, girl? And I would have to say, yes, ma'am, and be telling the truth. Otherwise, she was gonna snatch my life, so I'm not trying to get snatched up. But my mama's not here today, so over years, I have learned to use this. It adds just enough kick and some flavor. All right, so we have our heat on medium heat. And this, listen, when you come up with this app, I need you to find me and call me and let me know, because I'm gonna invest in your business. No, I'm not. We're gonna be partners, and I'm gonna get 20% split. Okay, high five the camera. Boom, there you go. We got this. Okay, we're gonna let this just simmer and continue to cook for about 20 minutes and let it just simmer down. All it's doing is cooking your shrimp. You don't want them overcooked, you don't want them undercooked, you want to be just right. And it's just gonna allow all these flavors to come through, as well as your gravy to thicken up. I'm sorry, Mama K forgot one thing. This is the piece de resistance. This is some Cajun's Choice gumbo filet. I know we're not making gumbo. Don't look at me like this. This is what's gonna give this dish a little Louisiana twang twang. That's what we call it. Little twang. I gotta open it. Oh my word. There we go. I got you. You don't need a lot because this is a thickener. So we're gonna sprinkle there. So what was that? 6, 3 on each side. And then we're gonna stir it up. It's gonna give your dish the Louisiana twang twang. And a lot of times when you go eat shrimp étouffée somewhere, and you say, oh, it's good, but it's messy. Oh, it's good, but it's good, but it's good. They probably didn't put this in there. So don't tell them, just keep it secret between me and you, all right? Okay, we're just gonna let this simmer on down, and then we're gonna move on to our next thing, which we're gonna start working on that wonderful chocolate chip pie. We're gonna be right back. All right, so we got our étouffée simmering down, as my mom and them would say. So now we're gonna start on this wonderful, the Queen Anne herself, her famous chocolate chip pie. Y'all, I got a story about this. Now, first of all, I gotta let y'all know, Mama K don't really do chocolate like that. I mean, like, you know, I'll eat pecan clusters with chocolate and caramel. That's my candy. So if you wanna get on my good side, bring me a Coke Zero and some of those. But other than that, I don't eat brownies, I don't eat chocolate cake, I don't eat chocolate ice cream, but this, you gonna love it, because if I love it, I know you will. So listen, if you got little people around the house, call them in, because they need to see how to do this, because they are gonna help you, and you're gonna appreciate it, because it's gonna keep their little hands busy. My little people, the ones that call me Nana, they all have names, the Zebros, and then there are the others, because their parents didn't name them with a Z, but all my little people have a number. So number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, and number 5. Number 1 and number 2, this is their job. So when they come over to Nana's house and we are gonna make this chocolate chip pie, we're gonna start first of all with these graham crackers. You know, the ones you give your little people while they running around. Here, sit down, eat a snack. They are all beat up. So my little people, we put them in a Ziploc bag and they challenge each other which one can smush it the best. I'll tell you, those little people, something else. But we're gonna start off with a half a stick of melted butter. La la la. And then we're going to use, start off with 1 package of the crushed graham crackers. And we're just gonna start sprinkling because we want it to absorb the butter. Now listen, if you don't have this, or you trying to move fast and you don't have no little people, but you know, somebody called you, said they coming over, you're trying to make this real quick, and you got a graham cracker pie crust in your pantry, you can use this and it'll taste just fine. Just melt you some butter on top of the graham cracker crust and then put it in here. Okay, so now we have our wonderful crust. You gotta mash it down. This is something for your little people to do, because they gonna have so much fun, and you keeping them out of your way while you working on the shrimp étouffée, baby. So smash it, get it all nice and down in there. See, look at there. There you go. Make sure because you don't want no dry parts. Who want to eat a dry pie? Not me, because I'm not going to have none. All right, your hand's dirty, but it's okay. Wipe it off. Now we're just going to start to layer. We have some chocolate chips, thus chocolate chip pie. Sprinkle. We have some white chocolate, thus chocolate chip pie. Now we're going to mix these together. La la la, da 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 da, na 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 na. Hey, 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 hey. I'm working on my single. Y'all stay tuned. I'm gonna let y'all know when I drop it. Crack myself up. Okay, the next ingredient we're gonna add is some sweetened condensed milk. Just pop that open. There we go. Stop that. Don't hurt yourself now, because we're not trying to get no workman's comp. All right, there we go. And just pour it all over. You're gonna literally cover. Are you salivating? I know you are. This is gonna be fire. And just mush it. You gotta mush it in there. It's gonna drop on in there. Yes, sir. Oh, it's so satisfying doing this. It's just, because I know what it's gonna taste like, and it's gonna be really good. There we go. All right, the next thing we're gonna do, we're going back down to the Bayou State. Everything we're doing today is gonna have something to do with the Bayou State. Now, when I was growing up, these bad boys were on every coffee table at everybody's house in a little bit. Everybody had pecans. Everybody had pecans. So we're just gonna sprinkle them, and you don't even gotta be cute like this. Okay, so let's not be. Sprinkle them around. If you don't do nuts, don't add them. If you don't like pecans, get cashews. You don't like cashews, you can use peanuts. Don't like peanuts, get walnuts. Don't like walnuts, you can use almonds. Any kind of nut, whatever you like. One of these days, I'm gonna show you what to do with these pecans. We're gonna make some brown sugar coated, and that actually goes good in this pie too. I know you're over there, celery. Get your little drool right there. Get it right there. Okay, you got it, baby. You got it. All right, all right. So we got our pecans, just enough to cover the top, and we got some coconut. And we're just gonna sprinkle it all around. Oh, this. Now, don't this just look good by itself? I know it do, but we're gonna put it in the oven on at least 400 degrees because you just want all of this goodness to start to melt and get all ooey gooey. But let me give you a tip. So like for Thanksgiving, when I'm cooking, hold on, let me tell you, come here. When I'm in the kitchen cooking like a big meal for the family and I'm making this dessert, I turn the oven way down, like 250, and I put it at the bottom of the oven. That way it can be just about done when we're ready to eat it, because I'm over there working on other stuff like shrimp étouffée or cherry coke ham or shrimp creole or jambalaya stuffed peppers. I'm over there cooking something else, but you know, my family is special. They don't want just what I'm cooking for the main entree. They act like they gotta have dessert every time too. So just because I love them, and I know you love your family too, I put this on real low and let it cook. All right, we're gonna pop this in the oven. See you in just a minute. All right, so y'all ready to make this appetizer? Now listen, we're gonna get started on the appetizer, but this is probably one of the most versatile appetizers you can make. I'm gonna show you what we're doing here today, but as I'm doing it, I'm gonna give you some other suggestions that you can try at your house based on your own preference. And now listen, remember, when you make this, you start this with this etouffee, and your friends gonna always be like, oh girl, I'm coming over, you gonna make some of the, just be ready. Keep the stuff in your fridge, keep the stuff in your pantry, because you know, once you make it and give it to them one time, they gonna ask for it all the time. Okay, so we got our nice, wonderful little bowl. We're gonna start with some cream cheese and some shredded cheese. So any kind of cream cheese, plain or the veggie kind. And we're gonna start. So this was a full package. We're gonna use half of it, and we just wanna start. Okay, this is how I do it in my house. Y'all come on in here so you can see, because we just having a little chitty chat in the kitchen. We just wanna start mashing this up, breaking it up. And we don't want to melt it. We don't want to put it in a microwave. So make sure that your cream cheese is at room temperature. We're going to add some white shredded cheese here. But listen, you can use any kind. You can use cheddar. You can use Colby Jack. You can use the nacho blend. And you can use the pepper jack cheese would be really good in this. We're not using it today because we're going to use a little bit of this smoky paprika, give it a little kick. So if you use the pepper jack, don't put this in there. It's going to burn people's lips off. Don't do that. All right, so let's just mix in, sprinkle some cheese in here. We have some green onion tops or spring onions, and we're just going to sprinkle a few. There we go. And then we have some fresh parsley that's been chopped up, and we're just gonna sprinkle a little bit in there. So we got all the herbs, and now we're just gonna keep on mixing. I feel like singing that song, rolling, but I don't know all the words, so I'm not gonna sing it today. Okay, so again, you can use any kind of cream cheese. The veggie flavor will work really well, or you can just use the plain. And we're just gonna mash it all up. We're also gonna add just a little bit of garlic powder, granulated. I know that there's powder and there's granules. I prefer using granules because it doesn't clump up when you start to mix it into your recipes. So it's my go-to. And we're just building flavor. Everything we doing today is just building flavor. Yes, sir. Because, you know, I believe when you eat, it should be an experience in your mouth. We eat with our eyes first, then with our nose, then we put it in our mouth, and we expect it to taste like what we see and what we smell. So that's why you got to build your flavors, honey. Yes, sir. Now this getting a little tight in here. It's all right though, boo-boo. Gonna add a little bit. Just, you don't need this. Don't do a lot. Just do, come on, a little bit. Just look. Okay, that's enough. Just enough to give it a little pop. Mix it. Now, we have some bacon bits. Now listen, I'm gonna tell you the truth. I prefer to make my own bacon bits. I know you can buy them in the deli, and they are right if you just on the go and you're gonna put some in your salad, that's fine. But if you're gonna do some cooking, you know, like we doing today, you and me and all of us together, go on and cook you some slice of bacon, and then you can put it on the side, because guess what? If it's anything like my house, you're gonna look at that pan of bacon that you're cooking that's been sitting over there in the corner, and all of a sudden it's gonna be empty because little people, number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5 can't eat bacon yet, but I know she wish she could, because she sure be growling. She only 7 months, she can't have no bacon yet, but she getting ready. Yes, she is. And we're gonna sprinkle some in here. Not to mention the grown people, who is the little people's parents. They walk by, bacon start disappearing. I tell you the truth. So we're just gonna mix all this together. All right, keep on mixing, because you want to have the flavor in everything. We're just gonna get our cookie sheet, but I'm gonna give you a tip. This is where I'm gonna give you, oh wait, we gotta back up. I gotta give you another tip. We added bacon, but you can use chicken, shredded chicken. You can use shrimp, but let me give you a tip. If you're gonna use shrimp, get the little bitty salad shrimp. You know, the little tiny pre-cooked ones? Use that, because then you won't have to do all that chopping and all that stuff. You got some salmon left over from dinner last night, because you made a nice romantic dinner for you and your bae, and you got a little salmon left over, go ahead on and shred it on up and put it in here. You can use ground meat. I like ground turkey, but you can use ground beef, anything, any kind of protein. You don't want to use a protein or meat, chop up some mushrooms, anything, and it's gonna ignite this flavor with all these other goodness in here. Okay, now we got our cookie sheet. Set this to the side, and then we have our mini peppers. They've just been cut. You can use any kind. Let's set this here for a second and set this over to the side so I have some room to work. Okay. You can use the mini sweet peppers that come in the tricolors. That's gonna make a beautiful array. But today we're just gonna use these itty bitty little teeny tiny weeny cookies. Peppers, they're not cookies. Y'all see my brain just flip right there? It's okay. All right, and we're just gonna grab some and we're gonna start to put it in our pepper. Okay, let me not be bougie. This is what we're doing, y'all. So we're in the kitchen and we're just stuffing it in here. We're gonna get a little more. We're gonna push it on there, and we're gonna put it in here like this. Because you know, you wash your hands. You know what your mama say, come in the kitchen, wash your hands. Actually, that's the rule when you come in my house, period. Before you even go anywhere near my kitchen to grab a bottle of water or anything, you better wash them hands. And we're just grabbing and putting it on here. And it's just gonna fit nicely. Now, let's just, come on y'all, we got this, come on. Your hands is clean, right? All right, so we're just smushing it on the top. So, if you're having a cookout, now your friends come, oh, I guess you're not having a cookout if you're making étouffée. Okay then, but when you have a cookout, because I know you're gonna have one, you got that nice big grill on your deck, I know you will need a little more, because every part of it needs to be filled. And you are firing up your grill and getting it ready to go. While that grill is getting ready and your guests are arriving, you could have put these together ahead of time and stick them in the fridge. Everybody's outside. Your husband, your boo, he got on his good grilling outfit, you know, them dad sandals with them knee-high socks. I don't know, something about a man cooking on the grill. He got to have on them sandals and he got to have on them socks. I don't know what that is, but it's a thing. It's a thing, and we just gonna go with the thing. So they getting ready to fire up the grill. Get yourself a nice pan that you can use on your grill while it is getting warm. You know, the grill pan with the holes in the bottom, and you can pop these on your grill Your friends is gonna flip out. Talking about, you've been holding out on this girl, oh my gosh. And they're gonna love them. And you're gonna make a wonderful batch of sweet tea or good lemonade and serve it with this. Get you some crackers, get you some grapes and some strawberries. And one day I'm gonna show you how to make Mama K's fruit dip. And you can put all this on your table and your friends are going to love it. Now listen, I'm just gonna finish up stuffing up these peppers. And then we're gonna garnish them. And then we're gonna pop these in the oven. I'll be right back. Y'all ready to eat? Look what you and me made. Look what we did. We have our shrimp étouffée. Wait, that's not the right accent. We gotta go to Louisiana. Hey, baby, we got our shrimp étouffée. Yes, chef. Look at that. Boy, my goodness gracious. Now listen, if you're from Louisiana, you're gonna eat this with a spoon because you know it's got some thick consistency. But if you're from up north, then you're probably gonna use what, a fork right there. So look at this rice. Now let me tell you. Okay, let me tell you about the rice. Come on, let me come back to the Pacific Northwest. I cook my rice in a rice cooker. Here's a tip, especially if I'm making anything Cajun and or Creole. I use jasmine rice because I absolutely love the flavor. And then I always add a little bit of fresh lemon juice. You're welcome. Try it the next time you make some white rice. Even if you're not cooking Cajun, you're gonna love it. All right, there we go. And no salt, because as you build all these flavors, you don't need no salt on your rice. It's gonna be fine. Plus, let me give you a tip. If you make it too salty and then you got rice with no salt, guess what? It's gonna even it out. You're welcome. Look at this. Look at this jumbo shrimp. All right, so that's our étouffée. Put that right there because I'm gonna have to go sit down on the couch and finish that up. Look at this beautiful Queen Anne chocolate chip pie. Now, I gotta tell you about Queen Anne. Queen Anne is the queen of cooking. She can cook anything. She's my mother-in-law, and she can cook just about anything you want. First time I ever went to her house, she made some scalloped potatoes and some chicken because we was running. Yes, I have a spoon. You're gonna understand why in just a minute. But she had made this chocolate chip pie, and it was sitting on her dining room table. And she said, Karen, you can have a piece if you want. Well, you know, I don't eat chocolate, but she's my mother-in-law, and I was just meeting. Well, she wasn't my mother-in-law yet. I was engaged to be married to her son. So I couldn't hurt her feelings and not eat this chocolate chip pie. So I took a little piece, y'all, a little bit. You see, this ain't no little piece, and you're gonna see why in just a minute. And I ate that. Look at this gooey. Oh, look at all this chocolateness. Look, do you see this? It's got the graham cracker. I know y'all look, I know. Now listen, when you make this, you and your little people, and you're gonna need a spoon, get you some ice cream, some vanilla bean ice, or if you like me, get you some butter pecan, because everybody from Louisiana eat butter pecan ice cream. This is ridiculous. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't want to leave that little piece in there because I don't want nobody to take my part of my piece I likes my pie. There we go. And yes, you can eat your dessert before you eat your dinner. Let's take a bite. We got the chocolate, we got the coconut, and we got the pecans. Don't want it to drip on my mouth. It's so good. So get you some vanilla bean ice cream, or get you some Cool Whip and on top. You're welcome. Or if you want to, you can stick it in the fridge for a little bit and let it get a little hard, and then you can cut it up like bricks. Fantastic. All right, last but not least, said that because after I eat the étouffée on the couch, I'm gonna come back and eat this. All right, look at our wonderful little mini peppers. These are fantastic. Remember, we made these with the cream cheese and the fresh herbs, the chopped parsley, and the green onions, the spring onions, and then we mixed it with some white cheddar cheese. Fantastic. Add a little bit of seasoning in there, and then we put it in these peppers. Oh, we also added some bacon, topped it with a little cheese and bacon. This a winner every time. Your friends gonna love you. I'm serious. They gonna love you. They gonna be like, Why in the world have you not made this for us before? You don't have to tell them that you just learned from Mama K. Just say, oh, I was just waiting on the right occasion. There you go. Listen, I have had a fantastic time with you guys. We did all of this, and I'm looking forward to the next time that we come together and we're gonna make some good food. I got so many recipes I want to share with y'all, and we're gonna make some good food and have a lot of fun. And plus, I got a bunch of stories that's gonna have you cracking up while we make all this good food and create marvelous memories. I'm your host today, Mama K, Karen Smith. Find me on social media at Mama K Cooking on Facebook, Mama K Cooking Karen Smith on Facebook, and mama.k.cooking on Instagram. And you'll see my smiley face. All right, I can't wait to see you next time. Have a great day.